Welcome back to the podcast. Hi, welcome. Hi, we're in another enterprise from a different season.
Yep,
Hi,
diff different season.
this is for the viewers. If you're listening to this on one of the podcasts, that sucks. Yeah, hi, but you're missing out. We got a whole background here. We're in one of the enterprises. It says it, I think, in the bottom corner. It says USS Enterprise NCC 1701 2267.
Mm,
Deck one,
yeah,
main bridge. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Today we're going to enter the fuckboy universe.
Oh God, yeah, we are.
We
Yeah,
are.
we are.
I never heard this term until I watched Rife, the comedian.
Oh, Matt Rife, yeah.
Yeah, I never heard it because he denies being a fuckboy,
Yeah.
and but I never heard that term before. But
Yeah.
you know what? I like the term. It's a cool term. Some
Interesting.
people some people might think it's offensive, but it's a lot of hard work to be a fuckboy. And
Mm,
with that in mind, I hear you were a fuckboy for 4 days.
yeah. So
You want to tell me about it?
yeah. So I got a gig like a modeling job. It was for it was the title is male promotional model. And what I was doing was promoting a soon to be released dating app. Um, and the gimmick, the ad campaign that they were running with is the sign said report every fuckboy you know. Because one of the things on their app that they are claiming you'll be able to do is report fuckboys. To give reference and understanding, the definition, fuckboy is basically just someone who, like a womanizer, someone who uses people or women specifically to get in their pants. So they'll say anything, they'll say or do anything just so they can go to bed with them. And that's a common problem for specifically women, but people in general. Um, on dating apps because it's very easy to match with someone on Tinder, Bumble, whatever, tell them all the sweet nothings and say, "Oh, it'd be a nice date," and then they come over and all you do is you get them in bed and then you say, "Get out." So that's what a fuck boy is someone who's just a womanizer or someone who's just wants to have sex and get it and get out, get in, get out, one night stand type things.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen was the original fuckboy on Two and a Half Men.
Yes, you could say Charlie Sheen. You could say Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man 1. You could say a couple of those. Just a player, right? A womanizer, those types of things. That's what a fuckboy
No,
is.
no, no. I wouldn't say a player. My
I I
definite.
I think it. I think it's a chart, right? You get like the Venn diagram. I think a
Yeah,
player overlaps into a fuckboy, but I don't think it's exactly the same. So
yeah,
it's in that sphere or
yeah.
Venn diagram.
Yeah. To me, a player would be somebody who, male or female, who likes to go out with the opposite sex and perhaps has many uh, opposite sex friends, and they enjoy, what do you call it? Benefits.
Friends with benefits, yes. Well, and
Friends with
so
benefits.
yes, I would say that's why I said it's sort of a Venn diagram. They overlap. An aspect of a player is that they're a fuck boy or a fuck girl, if that's what you would call it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Now,
so
let me before you get into it.
yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say, I found it humorous that you were standing on the corner with a sign about fuckboys when you are not a fuckboy, and that you have a girlfriend, and that you treasure her, and that you are not a fuckboy.
I
But
know.
tell me, go on, tell me about
That
what happened.
I know that was the fun part. Someone did ask me, "Oh, are you on the app?" I said, "No, I am in a relationship of 5 years. Thank you, though."
Yeah,
So the whole gig was it was a marketing slash male model promotional thing. I had to stand out there because I needed to have a specific look like a fuck boy. They gave me a chain, a wife beater, and a hat. And we didn't have to wear the hat. I just put it around my belt loop. And I had to stand there holding this sign that said, report every fuckboy you know. And then it had the dating app on the bottom. And then if anyone asked what's a fuckboy, I would flip the board around and on the back was the definition, which is what I described to you. So I had to be there on a street corner in the East Village for 6 hours for 4 days. Now, it's only, that's not even a full work day. That's not even a full 9 to 5. But standing in one spot was killer. That absolutely destroyed my lower back for 3 days. And then I figured out how to not destroy my lower back. Um, but yeah, so that was more or less what I was doing, was just standing there. And if it rained, I went under an awning and just stood under the awning. But it was 6 hours on this corner. Yeah, and people would take pictures and they'd see me from across the street and try and snap a picture. They would take pictures with me. They'd take a picture of like the board. They'd talk to me, and the first day was difficult because it was just super new and I was like taking everything in. Second day was easier. Third day was mentally the easiest, but physically the hardest. And then the fourth day was probably the best overall. So, except for the end, the last like hour, it was super windy and I got really, really cold, but I couldn't wear anything else because I needed to just wear the wife beater because that was the look. So I'm standing there shivering while holding this sign for the last like
Yeah,
hour of my shift.
but why is a fuckboy a wife beater?
It's it's just the what for whatever reason, the look of a fuckboy is this wife beater with a chain and a flat rim hat. It's think of Justin Bieber around like 2016, right? He had the sides of his head shaved a little bit on top, and he wore the hat. He wouldn't wear. It's like those flat rim hats where all those guys don't wear the hats. It like sits on top of their head.
Hmm.
They wear it backwards, and it makes their head look like 3 times the length. And they got
Hmm.
a chain, and they got the wife beater, and like some ripped jeans or something. That, for whatever reason, that just has become the look. I think it spawns partially from like Jersey Shore, right? Paulie D, right? When he'd walk around in his wife beater, his chain, his coiffed hair, and he'd go clubbing. Duh, 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 duh. So uh, uh, there's a mix of ways on why something can become culturally accepted or used, but that's more or less what I can describe it as, and more or less where I can understand where it comes from.
Yeah, see,
What?
I can see a fuckboy having skills because he may not be like what you just described. He could be excessively charming and
Well, but
utilize these skills
yeah, you can
where
you can be overly charismatic, but the overall aspect of what defines a fuckboy versus someone who's just got charisma is their goal is to take someone to bed and use them. They're lying to them, or they are simply just looking for sex when the other person may not be. They're looking to add to the list. This person may be looking just for like a good night out. That's the separation. Just because they have good charisma or whatever, that's true. They may have good charisma. They may good business people, whatever. But uh it just that's the difference. Is their main goal is to get people to go to bed with them and
yeah,
just
or people
rack
or
numbers.
someone who doesn't want to have a lasting relationship who just
Right.
wants to
Yeah, yeah.
right.
So
And so
so yeah, now
tell me about
comes
your days.
the stories.
Okay.
There was a lot of people that would come by and laugh or say something, and it was like 90% lighthearted, right? All younger people, or people who were just more hip with the times, and they'd laugh or they'd take a picture and be across the street or be away from the street. They'd come up and talk to me. What's this dating app? I'd give them the spiel, and it was a good time.
Hmm.
Um, but there was a variety of situations that occurred that were interesting. A couple times, I oh, before I get to that, I did feel bad occasionally when I stood there and like a family with two kids walks by, but I whatever, you know, you can't do anything about that. So I aside from that, I had a couple of situations, not big problems, but there was this one guy who I think it was on the it was 2 days ago on Monday because I just finished. For those who are understanding, the time of recording this is on a Wednesday. I finished Tuesday, and it was 4 days, Saturday to Tuesday. So on Monday, I'm standing there, and some anarchist type guy. He's in his jean jacket. It's got the spikes everywhere. He's got his chains. He's got his jeans with his wallet chained to him. He's got all his chains and metal, and he's an anarchist. A bunch of his buddies were around because they were around the corner hanging out in front of some like bar or something. And he walks by me at one point, just walks by, looks at the sign, and I could tell he didn't like it. He didn't agree with it. I was like, whatever. So does half these people. Like 20, 30 minutes later, he comes back again and starts giving me a whole song and dance, a story about how he's divorcing his wife of 15 years because she was on a dating app, and that he hates me personally because I guess because I'm holding a dating app sign. And he was like taking this anger that he had, I guess, with his unfaithful wife, on me. And I was a little concerned that he was going to come back and like do something, because the way he said it was like he was coming after me as if I was the owner of this company. And I told him, I was like, buddy, I just hold the sign. I'm getting paid to hold this sign. And he just couldn't, he was too busy talking about his wife who found someone more interesting.
But she found a fuckboy.
No, the app is trying to deter fuckboys. She was just unfaithful. She just left him of 15 years, I guess. I mean, I don't know. People don't just get up and leave. There's always reasons. So whether it was his fault or her fault, there was a reason. But yeah, he was having a real rough day with that. And then yesterday, Tuesday, I'm standing there for my final day. I see him again, this time with a buddy. He walks by and points a shaky little finger into my face and goes, I hate you. And then keeps walking. I was like, all right, man, you have a good day. You keep on trucking. Oh my God. It was such an unnecessary interaction.
How old was he, would you say?
When he said his wife of 15 years, I was thrown through a loop. I 100% thought he was like 30. Maybe that. Maybe that. I had no concept of his age at all. Unless this guy was completely lying and he just hates dating apps because he can't get on them or something. I don't know.
Could be.
But that was one of those ones that was the one of the few that I was like concerned of because of how aggressive he got on the first day. I thought he was going to try and come back with like his buddies or something. So that was one story. Another one is these are small things that happened. On the way to my position on Monday, I passed by a comedian that I just recently started enjoying. His name's Jeff. I don't remember his last name because I just started getting into him like a month ago or 2 months ago. Hold on, let me see if I can find it super quick. Jeff Arcuri. Yeah, Jeff Arcuri. I just found him on Facebook or something randomly on one of like the reels, and I thought he was funny. And on the way, like a block away, I just passed him by, and I didn't say hi to him. I was running late, and he was on the phone, but I was just a cool moment to see him. And while I'm on this corner, there's certain things that started being more consistent. Like there was a store on the second floor across the street from me. And on the first day, there was two workers who had seen me and like were curious why I was at this corner. The second day, they started taking pictures of me. The third day, they saw me there and they were like, "What?" They were just surprised and I guess like, "Oh my God, he's here again." And then on the fourth day, I was waving to them and saying hi, and it was cute and fun.
Hmm.
Um, on the last yesterday, I was standing there and some old guy comes walking by. He's got
Wait,
his
what do you call an old guy? I'm an old guy. What do you call?
got he had a walker and it was a walker with a seat. Like he was an old dude.
Oh,
He was like an old dude. Yeah. No, I'm not saying oh some old guy. Yeah, 50. No. He was a dude with a walker and it was one of those ones where it doubles as a seat, the it's
okay.
usually like black and red or something like that. Um, he walks by me and cops a squat right next to me, 2 feet away, and goes, "Oh, I'm just taking a rest." I was like, "Hey, you're good." We strike up a conversation. He asks what this app is about. He's like, "Oh, I'm a little old. I can't." Oh, got it. Okay. He gets up. He goes, "Oh, I'm going to get my lunch. Have a good day." I'm like, "Oh, have a good day." 30 minutes later, he comes back with a bag of food and sits back down 2 feet from me and takes another rest. And I say hi. We have a small chat, and while he's sitting there, a buddy of his, probably I want to say 10 years younger than him, walks by, and they have a pal, back and forth, and um. The younger guy goes, "Hey, you better watch your pockets. This guy's quick." It was a cute little moment.
Uh-huh.
Young guy walks away. This old guy turns to me and goes, "Yeah, him and I used to work at the funeral home down the block. I stopped working there a couple years ago, and that's how I know that guy." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." He goes, "Yeah, I live a few blocks down that way, and I've lived there for 72 years, my whole life." I went, what?" He goes, "Yeah, I've lived in the same place for 72 years." And he proceeds to tell me about how I think it was his aunt who had either the floor or the building. And she had given one apartment to this guy's brother, one apartment to this guy's sister, and one to him. And the brother and sister moved away and did other things, and he never left. And so he had lived in this apartment and still is for 72 years.
So
And
was he an old fuckboy?
yeah, yeah, he was. It was. He was doing good. He was a nice guy, and it was funny because he goes, "Yeah," and then I just left the funeral home a couple years ago, and I told them, "Hope," I said, "I won't be back until you guys got to bring me in there." And he crossed himself. He's like, "Oh, hopefully not soon." But he was a nice guy. And then he got up and left and went to go get. He said, "I'm gonna go eat my lunch." I said, "All right, you have a good day." Um,
Did any
yeah.
women misconstrue the sign thinking you were a fuckboy rather than the app was trying to get rid of fuckboys?
So I'm gonna keep it a buck. If they were, I don't know. I I am notorious for being unable to recognize when women are hitting on me. And this is historically. Like there were multiple times apparently in the beginning of Catherine and I's relationship when we were just friends and it was like a college where she tried to like make verbal moves with me where like one example that she's told me recently was we went and saw a movie and it was like not scary but it was semi scary. I think it was like Venom or something like that. She tried to say, "Hey, like oh, I'm a little scared. Would you do you want to like hang out after the movie, just to like help calm down a little bit?" And I apparently had said, "No, I got class in the morning. I got to get up early for do some homework." that she wasn't scared. She was trying to spend the night. And I just wasn't, I wasn't thinking of it. And that's apparently something that happened multiple times with her. That's apparently
Uh,
something that happened multiple times with other women before I met Catherine at college, before college. So unless it's like aggressive upfront, like borderline just saying, I apparently just can't understand. And so I will say, if there was any women that had asked about this app about to me and their intention was to see if I was on it or if I'm single or anything like that, I have no idea. Because
okay.
it doesn't register. I I'm a pretty aware and I'm a pretty intuitive person when it comes to conversations. Like I'm usually trying to pay attention to how people react and do and say things. I can't for the life of me get those down. I just can't. So, guy, girl, doesn't matter. If they're hitting on me, I like, for the most part, right? Obviously, like I'm not 100% blind. There's certain things I've caught on to. But
Did your employer come by?
so apparently they did on multiple days, but it was not like we were not made aware of it. It was just like in secret because they didn't want us like being on good behavior when they knew they were coming. They wanted to just see us in the wild and see what we were doing.
So did you
Um,
get feedback?
no, it's just general feedback for people that happened. Um,
Now,
but
are they going to give equal rights to women who are fuck girls?
so someone else asked me that too. They were like, "Oh, what about fuck girls?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would presume that you could do that. Um, I don't see why they would limit it to only the men. Like, I get the gimmick marketing tactic because that's more trendy and more like colloquial is the word fuck boy um, than like what's called a man eater, right? Or a maninizer or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, Man eater is different. Sorry, that's different. But yeah, I would assume as much. So, but apparently, like some of these guys apparently we were told to watch a 4-minute video on what like how to prepare and what we should do, right? And it was all the basic information. Um, what you say is you tell them about the app, you tell them the three main things that you can report fuckboys on the app, and if a certain amount of people report the same guy, that guy's account gets flagged, and to get his account back, he has to post an apology video. Okay, that's their main gimmick. You can also there was something else I forget, and then the third one was when you match with them, it will create or suggest things to do in person and it will help you schedule that in the app so that you can meet in person and that the relationship doesn't stay online because a lot of these relationships tend to stay online or they can stay online and it can create problems because people don't want to be catfished. Catfish means fake. Oh, that was the third thing that I forgot. On the app as well, you have to, part of your profile is record a video of yourself, again, to showcase that you are who you say you are. And it's a video in app. You can't upload a video so that you can't use filters and visual stuff. So overall, not a bad idea. It's a nice deterrent against people who are not looking, like, if you want to have that type of relationship where you're just looking for friends with benefits, go to the other apps. This app is claiming they want to be specifically for relationship building. Not a bad idea. Whether it works in actual practice, we'll see because the app's not out yet. Cool, whatever.
Okay. You
Um,
see, I have a viewpoint on this,
what?
but it's an older man's viewpoint. Uh, in between marriages for 7 years, I was a bachelor,
Mhm.
and I only like really one-on-one relationships, and I didn't like to handle more than one. because it was too much weight.
Hmm.
But in the course of doing 101s, I would meet somebody at a fraternity party or whatever, go on a date, but it wasn't a relationship.
Uh-huh.
And I would I was, like I said, I was old fashioned, unless the person pushed it, the female pushed it. I was in a relationship with someone, and if the person who was just a date, I would vie away from it because, under your definition, I didn't want to be a fuck boy. Okay.
Um, no, so there's nothing wrong with going on multiple dates. People do that all the time. They if they've got a date on Monday, a date on Tuesday, and a date on Thursday, that's fine.
Now,
That's not what it's about. The concept of a fuckboy is leading someone on.
yeah,
You're
well, that's what I'm talking. What I'm saying is, you can go out with somebody on a date, and you could know right away if it's just a lighthearted date, where they just want to have fun, go, go out for dinner, go to a party, and uh, maybe have sex, or just go out, have fun, go to dinner, and that's it. Some people you can read that they're looking right away to have a serious relationship. So you don't want to be someone who takes advantage takes advantage of that if you're smart enough, because then if you know you're going nowhere with it and they want to go somewhere with it, then I think you're a fuckboy.
absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
Yes, if you don't communicate your wants and needs after you are clear on what you want or need, and or you are aware of what they want or need because they communicated it and you didn't, and you use that against them to get what you want, yeah, absolutely, you are a fuckboy. That is a
So I
problem.
yeah.
And
So
so that is
in my 7 years of being a bachelor, I think I met more fuck girls than fuck boys,
well, and
especially at
that's
fraternity parties.
absolutely, and that is a thing. The reason they use fuckboy though is purely because it's more of a trendy
Yeah,
colloquial a word, right? It's the same as womanizer, right? There's other terms for women who will do that to men, but womanizer is a recognizable word, right? You more so than the female rendition.
yeah,
Um, so, but that's what the app's goal was.
right.
Um, but yeah, some of these guys apparently that they hired were unable to recognize basic instructions because after the first day, so the video, let me back up. The video we watched was to tell us all that information about the app. It also coached us on what to do if the cops show up, because legally we are allowed to stay on the sidewalk with a sign because we are not selling anything. We're just promoting a free app. That is completely legal. Some of the cops might pester you and say it's not legal. It is legal. That's the point. They check the law. That's why they're doing it. But if the cop tells you to move, just move. Whatever. They wanted you to hold the sign with the black side, because there's a black and white side. The white side had the definition. The black side had what I described, which is report every fuckboy you know. They wanted us to hold that sign that way and only turn it around if people ask, or for whatever reason, if they want to take pictures. But you got to stay in your spot and hold the sign.
Hmm.
Some of these guys were holding the sign upside down and backwards. Oh, some of the guys were walking around New York. They were going 5-6 blocks away. Ah, we were given corners to work for a reason. I was on whatever. I guess I can say it now because I'm not there, but St. Mark's and Second, and whatever, like 5-6 blocks from Washington Square Park. There were guys in Washington Square Park, and Union Square, right? It's 8 blocks away, 10 blocks away,
Hmm.
and two guys on the first day. Two guy, I went to take a break, a 10-minute break to get like a seltzer and a cookie. I come back. As I'm coming back, these two guys are coming up on my corner. I said, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And they, "Oh shit, you're here. Oh yeah, what's up? we were just like walking around. We just couldn't find a spot to like hang out in for our signs, you know. So we were just like walking around." I was like, "I, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to just like hang out at your spot. That's why we got ours." He's like, "Oh yeah, right, okay. Okay. Well, we're gonna head back. Yeah, all right."
Were they potheads?
No,
Were
they were
they?
just bros. They were the most bro dudes. Like when we first got everything, we all rolled up to Washington Square Park and we got handed out our wife beaters, our chains, our hats, and we're changing right there in the middle of Washington Square Park. And it's like 18 of us. It's a sausage fest. 18 of us just like shirtless, putting these things on and taking
All
pictures.
good, all good-looking guys.
Uh, sure.
Oh.
I think so. We had a very wide array of people. There were some guys there that were very, very clearly like frat dudes, like your quintessential like bro dude frat guy, with the oh yeah man, he's like and probably has about four brain cells, got a business degree, and is just gonna ride the coattails of like daddy's money or something, nepotism, whatever. Some guys were like, no, like I model, I do this, I do that, like this is a thing for me. And then there's some guys in the middle who are like similar to me. A couple of guys were like, oh yeah, like I do acting or I do modeling, but this is like one of my first gigs with this company and it's interesting. So wide array of people. Some guys, there was some of the guys were cool. Glad you're
Was
here,
it
man.
multiracial?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
they had all types of people. One dude, oh my God, he took his shirt off. Dude was yoked. He was shredded. It was crazy. I was like,
Like me,
yeah,
right?
exactly, just like you. Dude was shredded. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh, hold on. We actually have to change the tape. Hold on. Well, I just realized because the thing Zoom's getting. Hold on. We'll be right back. Hold on. All right, we're back. Sorry. The Zoom only because we record on Zoom, it only lets you go for a half hour. Um, yeah, dude was absolutely yoked out of his mind. He was crazy, crazy ripped. And I was like, all right, buddy, I don't think we needed that. Like you're just showing off. Like everyone looked decent, right? Like no one was the whole point is supposed to look like fuckboys, so we're supposed to have a decent body shape and whatever. Homie was crazy. Like holy crap. It was like Photoshop. I was like, all right, you stay over there, man. I don't wanna work with you. You go over there. So, but yeah, it was weird and awkward at first because we're all changing in the middle of Washington Square Park. And
It's too bad you can't put the picture of you doing it on this podcast.
no, no, that's all right. I don't want to do that. I'm also not trying to. I don't also want to promote the app on here because I'm not getting paid for that.
Yeah, I
Um,
can't tell you how proud I was when I had to tell my friends that my grandson with a 5-year college diploma was standing on the corner with a sign about fuckboys.
Look, it's gig work. That's what it is. That's the grunt work.
I know. I'm just being facetious.
You
You know
know,
that.
that's
Uh,
the tough part. Honestly, that's the tough part about doing like modeling and stuff like this, especially for commercial work. So you got to build your resume. So you got to do crap like that, you know. And
right.
mind you, it was good money. I made 30 an hour. That
Yeah.
that's nothing to crap about. To stand on a corner and hold a sign, holding a sign for $30 an hour is crazy. That's
Well, you know, I
crazy.
was joke. You know
No,
what I
I
was
know, I
joke.
know, I know. I had a group of these two people walk by and they're like, "Yo, you getting paid for this?" I said, "I fucking better be. I would not be here otherwise." And they're like, "How
Mhm.
much you getting paid?" I said 30 an hour. They went, "Holy shit!" Like 30 an hour is crazy for
It,
standing on it. But
Did
like,
any girls come over and give you their number?
no, not even close. A couple people thought
Any?
I was the creator of the app, which was weird. Um, they like one dude came up while he was on the phone and he starts asking me like back end questions of the app, like users and all that. And I was like, buddy, I'm holding the sign. There's another one of me right over there. There's another guy in a white beater across the street right there. Like he was like, oh yeah, all right, thanks, man. I was like,
See, that's the only thing I don't like. I don't consider fuck boys necessarily to be wife beaters, you know. So
no,
I
no,
don't
they're
know
not.
if
They're not, fuckboys aren't wife beaters. They were wearing wife beaters. Like they're that's the shirt, the white tank top.
oh, okay.
They're called
What?
wife beaters because that's the sad stigma behind those white tank
Oh,
tops.
okay.
It's called a wife beater
Were
because
you the only one without tattoos?
no one had tattoos. Um,
Oh, okay.
when it comes to modeling, you have a higher chance of getting more work if you don't have tattoos because tattoos are for very specific looks, and if any of your tattoos are offensive or copyright, right? Like if you get a tattoo of SpongeBob and they try and put that on print, they're going to get in trouble because that's a copyrighted image. So, you know, that's that any form of tattoo, same thing with acting, right? If you're going to be an actor, having tattoos can really kill your career. Uh,
Okay. So
so
your last two jobs were pretty good.
yeah.
A couple of hundred people you selected, and you did a runway model.
Yeah, I did the
Yeah,
runway model. I got published in the magazine, which was cool. I sent you. Did you get the picture? I sent it to
I
you.
did. What was the name of the magazine again?
Uh, Enrich. His name is Richard, so it's his magazine. It's like Enrich something. Um,
Okay.
it
You
was
think
the what?
you think you'll get any callbacks from that?
No, not necessarily, but I think it's a great piece of work. I like I've got published work now. You know what I mean? Uh, I am published in a magazine. That's cool. I can show that to a company, or when I get more work, I can say, yeah, I've been published here. I was part of this ad campaign, this, and that, this, and that.
What
So
did Catherine think of you carrying a sign about fuckboy app?
she thought it was hilarious.
That was hilarious. Okay,
She thought
that's
it was
good.
hilarious. Um,
And what did your mother think about it?
she couldn't care less.
She couldn't what?
She couldn't care less. It was fine.
Oh, okay, that's right.
I'm a grown dude. I do what I can, whatever.
That's right. And I'm
But
proud of you for I'm proud of you for going out. You wanted to make money. You didn't kill anybody. You didn't rob anybody. You went out and you made some money.
well, right, and that was that was the other thing as well, is I was a little hesitant to do this at first because there was some issues at the beginning that got me worried. Um, because when they sent me a contract, part of the contract not only had an arbitration clause, which I don't, that's a, we can literally make an entire separate podcast on arbitration clauses and like what just happened recently with Disney. Um, all right, brief side. I'm not going to get super into it, but brief side. Husband and wife went to Disney Springs, which is downtown Disney or whatever. It's a section, one of the parks at Disney. They went to a restaurant. The woman has a deathly allergy towards, I think it was like dairy and nuts. They had apparently asked the waiter, and this restaurant they went to is known like across all of Disney to be the most uh, acceptable in catering to people who have allergies and will make foods around those. They had apparently asked in depth like 6 or 7 times. You sure this dish doesn't have this? You sure this dish it doesn't have any of these ingredients? She will go into a serious anaphylaxis. Yes, 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 yes. She eats the meal and she dies because there was something in it. This guy goes to sue Disney because it's on their property. It's one of the eateries on their property, and he wants to sue. Disney turns around and says, because you signed up for Disney Plus for a 1 month free trial 3 years ago, you agreed to our arbitration clause. in
So,
in in most arbitration so and for those who don't know, arbitration clauses are
yeah,
basically immunity clauses for
right.
companies right now, because what
Yeah.
it does is it says you can't sue
Hmm.
any of that company or their affiliates forever. The only thing you can do is take them to an arbitration court or a civil court, and or if not, you have to deal with an arbiter, and
Arbitrator,
usually
yeah.
arbitrator. Sorry, I arbitrator. And what has been historically known with arbitrators is they tend to side with the companies. So you basically are signing your life away in that aspect. You have a possibility and a chance to still sue or deal with an arbitrator, but they will usually side with the company and or will just make it very difficult for you. So
Okay.
Disney was trying to use the fact that because this guy signed up for a free trial to their subscription Disney Plus, that they are immune to this to this court, this lawsuit, because his wife, they're trying to get out of paying this man because this man's wife died after they had explicitly asked multiple times if these products were not in the food. And because of the horrendous PR, they agreed to the guy's things and they weren't going to fight it. But for the first like 4 or 5 days, they said that they were using his subscription service. So just as a thing to be aware, if you ever sign something, be aware of the arbitration clause. Um,
Did you sign an arbitration clause?
Sadly, I had to for this thing, um,
Which
which
included
is
if you got arrested, they're not responsible to get you out
no,
of jail.
no, that
No?
not to my knowledge. It may have been included in the wording, but it didn't explicitly say anything about arresting. But that was to circle it back. That was my problem. The contract was very short. Um, it's only like 2, 3 pages because it was a simple gig, right? I'm standing there and holding a sign.
Hmm.
But in the arbitration clause, and then they had a media usage rights clause. And the way that this contract read was basically that they can take images and photos and videos of me, use them forever, edit them, modify them, promote it however they want for their product forever and always, however they want. But in there, it also said they can take from other media, meaning that they can take from my personal content. They can take from my personal, like my TikToks or my Instagram, take content from there and use that to promote their product.
And you signed it?
And no, and
Good.
I had it reviewed and uh I told them, I said, hey, like I need to do some changes with this because this is unacceptable. I had to agree.
Okay.
Like if I wanted to do it, I had to agree the arbitration clause. Arbitration clause was
Okay.
basically just that they're not responsible for if anything happens. Like if I get stabbed, I can't sue
Uh,
them. Fine. Mind you, this arbitration clause was for the middle company. The
okay.
dating app was using this agency company to find work. This this contract was for the agency. So in theory, I could have sued the dating app, but whatever.
Okay. So you know what
Um,
I was concerned about besides that? I was concerned that they would see this app and want to sign me, and I was,
well, I mean,
because I'm a,
your price is too high, like
that's right.
they can't afford you. So
That's right.
that's the part that would make it so
And you,
difficult.
you, you know it.
They know, they know if they put you on, they'll be the top app in the nation, but
That's
they
right.
I don't know if they can afford you because they're just so new.
That's right.
So, but yeah, that was my beginning with this company. Was I felt uncomfortable. It felt sketchy. It felt like they were trying to steal my image and
My-
use it for
Yeah,
AI and own me forever so that they can promote me. And it would have been, oh, you do this gig work, great. Now we own you and we can use you to sell your face and data for whatever we want.
that, that's why
Thankfully,
you're bright. I'm very
th-
proud of you.
thankfully, I was able to go through the contract and make some changes to the media and usage rights. Arbitration clause is arbitration clause, can't do anything about it. Because in most states, the courts will just say, because because the court system is filled with 80-year-old fossils, 90-year-old fossils. Um,
Watch it.
No, no, no. Hold on. There's a difference between certain 80-year-olds and other 80-year-olds. Just be
Okay.
that let me make that clear. That's why I said 80-year-old fossils, because there
Okay.
are people who've lived a rough 80 and there are people who've lived a good 80. You are at a
Okay.
good 80. You are very conscious. There are some people in Congress that are not healthy and they are not even 80. Um hold, hold on. A prime example, Joe Biden, 81. That dude is a year older than you. And I know for a fact you could beat him in everything. A physical race, a mental race, any test possible known to man, you could beat him in. That
Thank you.
man, that man is a vegetable.
Okay.
So
Donald Trump is 3 years younger than me. What do you think of that one? Could I beat him in
same
everything?
same thing, same thing. You could beat both of them with your thumbs behind your back, tied behind your back, and half a brain. Truly, both of
Okay.
them.
That,
They
that,
neither one of them has the capacity to do anything with leadership.
yeah.
Um,
Okay. I
so
couldn't beat Donald Trump in playing golf because I'm retired.
uh, you could still do it. You could come out of retirement like it's WWE, and you would still kick his ass. I promise you, that man cannot play golf properly. There's no shot in hell. Um,
Okay. So, any more
so
interesting things
Oh
about?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got one more. But the let me finish this. Is just that
I'm sorry.
it came off sketchy. It came off sketchy because of the contracts, and it made me uncomfortable because it felt too easy. $30 to hold a sign felt too easy. It felt like, when if something feels too good to be true, it usually is. This felt like that. It felt like that. And also because I'm still green to this market. So maybe this
Mm,
is industry standard. I don't know. But it felt uncomfortable and I was concerned, but I got the contract fixed and I said, all right, whatever, fuck it. We rip it. Cool. And it ended up being pretty good. 6 hours a day standing in the same spot was a little brutal on my back and my body, but what was nice is I didn't have anyone breathing down my back, so I would just pop an earbud in and listen to like a podcast or music or something for the 6 hours. And it was only
what
one
about
ear.
what about the homeless? Were any homeless around?
Oh yeah, a couple guys would walk by. A nice 75-year-old woman with three teeth in her head said I was cute, and she tried hitting on me. I said
Oh,
thanks.
okay. Should
Um,
have given should have given him my number.
I know I should have handed her yours. The one story I am gonna say, but I gotta keep it. I'm gonna think about this while I say it because I don't want to give too much information about it because this person is obviously like there's something with her and her stuff going on. She she was painting or drawing some chalk designs on a sandwich board like 20 feet from me down the block for a burger joint. She'd been there for a day or two, and then on the last day she comes up to me and starts talking to me and rambling about what she does. She was a dancer, an artist. Excuse me, wow, that was a hiccup and a burp. She was a dancer,
Yeah.
artist, painter, whatever. She claims to have made some art that got her around some high profile people. She claims to have not wanted to do certain things with these high profile people that she was with and then got blackballed. Uh, and also from some specific publication who also libeled her. And it apparently ruined her career. Um, Again, I have to be because I don't want to release too much of this information because I don't know too much about her aside from her website and her art and stuff, and I don't want to expose too much about her in that regard because she is still actively working and doing stuff. It was just a very strange and uncomfortable situation
Hmm.
because she at first was talking about the dating app and was curious about what it was, and then basically started saying, well, this is a good idea, like I may use this for my work, and was talking about how she would want to do this to have her art in like Wall Street. right? Like I would do what I'm doing there in St. Mark's and Second, just in Wall Street, wearing her art in or holding a sign in Wall Street and seeing if people would want her art. And in between all of the rambling of like who she is and if I like something 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 I work at I've been doing this thing with the burger joint something 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 $5,000 to $10,000 something 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 I am a globally recognized artist so like whatever a lot of talk to try and impress me. Meanwhile, she's taking 6 hours to draw two images out of chalk on a sandwich board that does not look good. So, the end of it, she hands me her card and says, "I'm not trying to hit on you. Just message me on Instagram." Because she was basically wanting to employ me to do what I'm doing with this sign, but for her and her art in Wall Street. Go to her website, go to her Instagram. Her Instagram has her art. Uh, I've seen better work out of a 10-year-old. Go to her website, same thing. She has a whole section on her website. This website is supposed to be about her art and her work, right? Her resume. She does business art. She does like making logos. She does her own personal art. And then she has a section about what happened to her. It is, you scroll forever. It's the ramblings of someone who has some problems. And because it's not just about like this libel case, there's other like in between this libel case, there's three other stories that get injected into this thing periodically, and it just doesn't end. And you're bouncing back and forth between multiple stories, between multiple things. And again, I'm not going to go into the details about what was in there because I don't want this one to be identified, because I don't want it to come back to me, and so on and so forth. But not that this podcast has critical acclaims, but nonetheless, uh, it was such a at first, when I had first spoken to her, the conversation felt normal. It felt like a basic thing. She rambled similar to how I've seen Barbara Streisand when she was younger speak and ramble, right? It's sort of that New York ramble personality where she just gets like ahead of herself. And then it
That
just
usually happens with very, very bright people.
sure. I can't fully agree on that. I think it can happen sometimes in bright people, but I think not always.
Yeah,
And
case by case.
for this conversation with her, started out neutral. At first, I thought she was trying to hit on me, because she was talking about how she's tried dating apps and she's just talks something about age is but a number, but she's pretty
How,
young.
how old is she, you
I
think?
thought she was in her like 50s. I found out after going on her website that she's 61. And she's trying to talk to me about age is but a number, yada yada
Yeah,
yada.
she was
I
hitting on. She
I
was
would
hitting on.
I would like to, I want to go on one of these apps, but I just don't think I have the time to deal with a 30-year-old guy right now. I guess she thought I was 30. Cool. That whatever. Like maybe the gray in my beard down here made her think I was 30. Um, and so I kindly interjected into the conversation. She was like, "Oh, it's tough. I don't party, drink, or smoke, or do any of those things." And I was like, "Oh yeah, my girlfriend and I don't do that either. We like to, if we go out, we go to like see a show or something." So I politely interjected that into the conversation, and then
Very
it
good.
slowly devolved into ramblings of how she was wronged, and her career was derailed, and from all these
Mm,
people and powerful people in the media are keeping her from being successful, and uh the elite are doing things, and
I understand. I
it
understand.
devolved very quickly to that, along with a couple other things. um like she had to keep reaffirming her her sexuality to me, that,
Hmm.
you know, for whatever reason, she had to keep reaffirming that. Um, and in my head, when she was telling me this, I was like, oh wow, like I'm sorry to hear that, blah blah blah. I'm thinking this happened like 10 years ago, right? 5, 10 years ago.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's something she's grappling with. It happened 31 years ago.
When she
No,
was 30.
no, not 31. It happened 30, 36 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 36 years ago.
When she was 25. Yeah, she can't forget it.
Yeah, when she
So
was
she got burned.
25. Right.
Yeah, she probably got burned by a fuckboy.
So, but like it was just a mess of a conversation. And I got worried because after the conversation, she hands me her card and says, oh, I'm not trying to hit on you, message you on Instagram, we can talk. I go on my break, I look up all this information I find on her website. Like, and mind you, this is on her art website. The thing that's supposed to be used to sell her product is has this section with this information on it. And it's rambling like a mad person. I see all of this and I start to worry and I go, God. Oh God, what did I just do? I finish my I spend the next 3 hours finishing my last day, my last shift for this gig, praying she doesn't speak to me again. She doesn't say anything. I don't have to give her my data, my information. She doesn't know who I am, thankfully. She handed me her card. I never told her my name, nothing. And I just left. When my shift was over, folded that cardboard thing, threw it in the trash, and left as quick
And
as I could.
you had to get on the subway to go home in that outfit.
Oh yeah. No, no. I every day I brought a shirt. I always brought a button down. It still made me look like a douche because it was like
Yeah.
my I have a leopard cheetah patterned button down. I like it because it's a very loose fitted one that hangs, so I can wear it with like two or three buttons down and it's open and it's airy. It's not stiff like a lot of my nicer
Okay.
shirts. So still looking like a douche because I had that on with my ripped jeans and my Jordans. But
Jordans. I haven't heard that word in a long time.
my so it was whatever, but it was much better than wearing the wife beater and chain. Holy hell. That was the other thing I was pissed about. That was another reason why I thought this was scammy. They gave us these boards. The chains, the wife beater, the hat. They were like, yeah, take that home and you got to bring it in every day because you got to wear it. The boards. These boards are I want to say 3 feet by 2 feet. You know what I mean? Like it's a board. So
Mm.
it's a whole board. One of the guys had asked, hey, what do we do with the boards at the end of the day? On the first day, they said, oh, you take it home. And one of the guys was like, well, but we're not getting paid for that advertisement, which was a very extremely important point. And he had asked that question, and because we were all getting ready and people were taking pictures, it got left in the middle, like it just no one answered it. And no one went to ask the question again. And I was pissed because like I had to take the subway and New Jersey Transit holding this dumbass sign that says fuck boy on it. And the back says the definition of a fuck boy on it. And I felt embarrassed. And also I didn't like the fact that I'm not getting paid to advertise your stuff on for free. Like if you want me to advertise your stuff on the train, on the subway, and while I'm walking through New York City, pay me. Because I'm working. That's work.
So if they
So
don't,
so
are
day
they get?
two, day
Yeah,
two, I roll up with a garbage bag, put that thing in a nice large garbage bag.
you're smart.
And so for for the second, third, and fourth day, I rolled around with that garbage bag, and it made me so much more comfortable. So it made me 10 times comfortable because I could go on the train, I could go on the subway, and I didn't have to deal with people reading the sign. And also because you're not paying me. You want me to walk around with that sign without a garbage bag? Fucking pay me.
Understood. Question: when do they pay you?
They pay on the 15th or 1st of every month, so I'll get paid in like 10 days.
Okay, so if they don't pay you, basically you've been fucked, boy.
You were holding that one in for a good 5 minutes now. Oh my God. Yeah, great.
Boy,
Thanks.
that was a good one.
That was a good one. No, that was
Yeah,
a good one.
yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. The other thing that they had us do was there's this app that they used so that we can clock in. They're like, how do we log our time? this app lets you clock in and out of jobs that you work for, but it clocks you it grabs your location too. So you can't like, because we're holding signs in the middle of New York. So to make sure that we're in the spots that we're supposed to be in, when you clock in, it grabs your location for the clock in. And when you clock out, because on the first day, I clocked in where my spot is, and I clocked out about 4 blocks away because it was I had clocked in 2 minutes late, so I clocked out 2 minutes late just so that I'd be there. But I had 3 or 4 blocks away, and it said, "Are you sure you want to clock out? You're too far from your original location." And so that's how they capture to make sure that you are where you're supposed to be. Um,
Hmm.
and so for the last, the days after that, obviously I clocked out on time and where I was supposed to be. But it was a very interesting app because I've never seen that before. And it clocks your hours and everything. You get timed, and that way you can fully see that you were there for the full 6 hours. Um,
You're going to do it again?
they would have to employ me again. This is not a long-term thing. This was a gig work,
Okay.
contract position, just one off.
Okay.
So unless they loved my work as a dude on the corner or they like my physical look for their other stuff, sure. But I doubt that they'll probably want to work with me because I gave them such a hard time with the contracts. Um, they may want
Yeah.
someone who's just willing to sign shit and give their life away.
Yeah, well, you know what it is. That song, standing on the corner, watching all the girls go by,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Can't,
Except I was watching a lot of homeless go by.
yeah.
Standing on the corner, watching all the homeless crawl by.
Yeah, so it was an experience. You
No,
had
it,
to,
it was definitely an experience, and I have to say, overall, I did enjoy it a lot. I am someone who likes to meet people, and I like to talk to people. I like to converse with
mhm,
people, and this was this was similar to what I used to do at college. When I was at college, one of the things I loved to do was work for New Student Day, and what is it? What's it called? It was like New Students Day, and then there was a separate day, open house, not open house, uh, whatever it was. It was for prospective students, juniors and seniors who are looking to for colleges, and colleges would hold this a day or a couple, like 2 days or whatever, a weekend.
like an indoctrination day.
No, no, not an indoctrination day. It was a day to showcase the college. So it would be like two days or 3 days where they would have bounce houses and games going on in the quad, and you could go into your respective buildings that you were looking to major in and get all the information and get tours of the buildings and so on and so forth. Um, and they had one for new students. That was a separate day. That was in like whatever September, and then they had one in April for prospective students who were looking, right, juniors and seniors. And I loved doing it. I loved waking
Mhm,
up at like 6:30 in the morning, getting a bagel, and showing up to for the doors to open at 8, and to
mhm.
talk to all of these new kids and parents and showcase the school and give the information. I enjoyed being that type of people person. It fills me energetically wise and internally. It's nice. So this was in that aspect. I loved when people came up and asked me questions or took pictures or laughed or made a joke with me because I liked interacting with those people. Um,
Hmm.
so it made it more enjoyable. It made it go by faster. Um, the physical pain sucked, and it was a little brutal. I wish I would have had a little more breaks, um, but overall, I did have a good time with it, and I made some good money. I'm happy with that. It pays off a couple of expensive things I had to buy this summer. So
Good, good for you. You know, I'm proud that you just. I was just worried that you'd get arrested. I was just worried that maybe some crazy people would come and try to beat you up. But
that was
otherwise,
my biggest concern. My biggest
yeah,
concern was getting some dumbass trying to do something stupid.
yeah,
Like that guy, like the anarchist guy. Just
yeah,
he's having a rough day, so he decides to take it out on someone. Oh my God, that reminds me. last thing, absolute last thing. While I was on the corner, I think it was on my second day, it might have been my third, cross diagonal across the street from me, down the block about 50 feet, three people had come out of a brownstone. And I looked over as it was like in the middle of happening. I looked over and I saw some guy going in for a swing. And the second guy grabs his eyebrow in his eye and he's screaming, "Someone call the cops! This guy just hit me. I've been hit. Someone call the cops!" And the guy who hit him starts running away. He runs towards the intersection closest to me, and then shoots up north towards 8th, or towards 9th, because I'm on 8th. Goes up towards 9th, and then turns left to go west towards whatever that is. I don't know what the hell that is. Third, yeah, Third Avenue. But it was crazy because this guy was screaming, and the guy who got hit starts chasing the guy who hit him, and they run it literally in the middle of the road. Like they run in front of cars and taxis and everything. They almost got hit a couple of times. The thing that I don't know though is if it was real, because the guy who hit him had a small tripod like this one. I don't know if you can see it well. Yeah.
I see it.
So this is probably a little over a foot in length, and then you put your phone here. Something similar to that size. That's what the guy who hit the other guy with was holding, with a camera or phone in it. The guy who got hit also had a camera, a professional camera on a tripod that was closer to like 4 feet. The third guy had a camera as well. And that third guy had a small tripod like that with a professional camera on it. And I think the third guy was filming, I think. I'm not sure. But they all had cameras as if they were filming. So, I don't know if this was some content creator who lives in this brownstone and was just trying to make a bit so that they could make some viral videos and make some cash, or if they actually were like maybe videographers who had a disagreement and then swung at each other or something. But it was a nice little shock to the system that day, because everyone was just having a nice normal day, and all of a sudden we hear this guy high-pitched screaming saying, "I've been hit, someone call the cops, someone call the cops," and he's chasing him down the street. Crazy.
Yeah, well,
crazy.
it was the village. It could have been also a lover,
Could have been, but like I said, the fact that they were all holding cameras, I don't know what, like, because though all three of them were holding professional cameras and equipment, I have no idea. It could have very, very easily have been something for like YouTube or TikTok or something, where they just run down the block and then they like turn a corner and go, "All right, that was cool, man. Thanks. Here's your $50," and just like leave. So
well, I'm glad your experience went smoothly and that no arrests, nobody hurt you. And again, it would take a lot to attack a 6'7" guy dressed as a fuckboy.
That's true. That's very true. So,
Yeah.
well, yeah, that was my story at this fucking interesting gig work. Hopefully I can get more, maybe not as physically demanding. Well, physically demanding is to say the least. There's a lot of people who work a lot harder than that, but maybe I can get something with more money that's easier. Or just more work. Hopefully more work in the future is soon.
Yeah. Well, you're filling up a resume, so
yeah,
that's what matters, and it'll keep you afloat for a week or two with the money.
Yeah. So
That's
all right,
good.
well, we'll catch you in the next one. Maybe we'll talk about arbitration clauses, or we'll talk about something else. Maybe something political will happen that's huge. We'll see.
Okay, so our spaceship is going to return home.
Yeah, we're going to return home now.
Okay.
All
Everybody
right.
be well. Everybody be well.
Have a good night, everybody, or good morning, or good evening. Peace out.
Peace out.